feeling, a deepening feeling for singing the mantra. And 24-hour kirtan, there are some places where we visit, in India, for instance, where 24-hour kirtan has been going on for 25, 30 years. There's one particular place I'm going to visit next week. I'm leaving on Thursday. We're going to India, and they've been doing this 24-hour kirtan for going on 30 years now. There's a dedicated crew that just lives there at the ashram and then comes out and sings kirtan. And it's become quite a famous thing. People come from all over the world to visit there and participate in that. It's something. It's definitely not nothing. It's hard, when you watch people come in too in the evening time. It's a festival time of the year where I'm going in October, November, when thousands of people come in. And sometimes people who haven't experienced being around the mantra, there'll be several people playing drums like this, a person playing harmonium, and maybe 7 or 8 people playing kartals in unison. So you get quite a feeling. I always experience like a train coming, a spiritual train. And I see people get bowled over by it, who walk in thinking, what's this, or even feeling morose or just spaced out. And when they walk in, they are overcome by the experience of the kirtan and the mantra. And I see their faces change, and people who didn't intend to start dancing wildly. Probably wonder what happened, because it's such an overwhelming experience, and so that is available. I mean, anybody can do it. It's that some ways that you want to get water. If someone says, "I want water," and you can say, "Well, it's up there in the cloud. Help yourself." It's kind of when we talk about the spiritual world, it's up there somewhere. How are we going to access that? And even in yoga, we might talk about finding out the higher self within the heart. But then, as Matthew was explaining, there's a little technique, there's practice, diligence, and everything like that. And that's sort of like getting water from a well. So it's in the well, but I was just in Hungary a couple of weeks ago, and I visited a self-sufficient farm, and they don't use electricity. Very sparingly, actually. It's only from solar power. And it's a thriving community. It's become exemplary worldwide. That's one of the reasons I went there to see it. And I was visiting one of the houses on a tour, and they have wells, and they're very deep wells, and it's not on an electric pump. You actually have to lower it down by crank and bring the water back up. And I said, "How is that for you?" And he said, "Well, you appreciate water a lot more. You don't waste it ever, because it's, after the first few tries, the quaintness of the whole thing wears off, and, it's work." So similarly, the meditation, looking inside, the water's there, definitely, but you need to work at it. But with the kirtan, it's like water in the palm of your hand. You just take it and drink it, and anyone, children, people who are unacquainted, sometimes we do this in public, and people will come out of nowhere and just start dancing, because they just feel like it. I mean, rhythm, what do you do to rhythm? Everyone knows. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to teach them. They just come out and say, you dance, right? That's what we do. And then there's something about it with the mantra. We're not chanting something over and over again that's meant for anything other than enlivening the higher self. And so people get that too. Naturally, they look at each other, and there's a kind of a spontaneous combustion. And the knowledge is in the mantra. It's not a matter of going to college and studying it, but it's inherent within the mantra itself. This is expressed in Sanskrit, saying that it's Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Priyojita Jnana Yashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayara Haitukam. That when you practice this, the knowledge and detachment from other things that aren't connected to our highest good, they naturally come out of the mantra. You don't have to seek them separately or independently. It's there. It's there within the mantra. So we practice this. We advocate it, and we have sometimes. Right now, our teacher is not available, but we had going for a while academy that teaches this kirtan. You can learn how to play one of these drums. I just imported 50 of them from Bengal. No small task because they're very fragile and they come over in trunks. But we have 50 of them sitting nearby in an undisclosed location because we consider these the real weapons of mass destruction. That's what they were really looking for. There's no telling what these instruments in the kirtan will do to the modern materialistic society, the revolution. So we're hiding them, but we bring them out gradually for those who want to learn the science of how to do this. And learning kartals also, we have a little class on that. And then you can have kirtan at home and invite your friends. And all you have to do is just chant the mantra and everyone's happy. And so that's our system for mantra meditation. It's an authorized and ancient system, but it's applicable in modern times. George Harrison was a big advocate of the mantra and included it in his music, sort of popularized it in a way. Are there any, did you have any feelings about the chanting this time that you'd like to reflect back?
It's with connection and happiness, but I thought, no, I'll ask the question later on.
Yeah.
Maybe other people want to reflect their feelings. So.
Go ahead, you can ask.
Oh, okay. Do you have a recording from
From the chanting?
Yes.
Many.
Really?
Yeah, there's many recordings of the chanting. And,
I-
you listen to it. You can listen in your car and
Yeah.
things like that. So many. More than you could possibly listen to in a lifetime. And many different styles too. Many different styles, but we can introduce you to that. The whole genre of kirtan and recording and things like that. Remind me afterwards and I'll make sure that you get it.
I just this year was introduced to Abba Amati, and I saw her coming, towards me, and her saying, "Remember, I was, born into incarnation of Krishna." And I was like, "Okay." So she kept coming into me, and just I experienced her in. She just wanted me to embrace that for myself, for me to experience that as myself, knowing I'm part of all that. That was big energy, So then the dancing was integrating that too, and just feels different in the body.
Yeah, those who are practicing intensely are compared to sort of walking what's called a tirtha. Tirtha means a bridge, sort of, to the spiritual world. So they carry that energy within them. And therefore, you might have heard the term satsang. Sangha means association. Like anga means a part. Like this finger is an anga of my body. It's a part of my body. It's a limb of my body. And really, I don't want to do without it. I'm very attached to my finger. It's a little finger. I don't think about it that much, and I really don't give it enough gratitude. But if someone wanted to separate the finger from my body, I'd probably pay whatever I could to keep it. So it's a very intimate connection, the anga. So sa-anga, sangha, is sa-anga, means to become connected to others. And sat means, well, Matthew said earlier about Sat Chit and Ananda, how there's eternity, there's cognizance, and there's Ananda, or joy, happiness. So Satsanga means the kind of Sangha that brings you to that level, that kind of connection. So that's very important in the advancement of spiritual life and the learning of kirtan, is this Satsanga, how to connect oneself with those who are practicing at a high level, and that makes it a bridge. Makes it easy too, by association. It's the easiest way. Just like my friend Matthew and I, every April we travel to Japan together, and we do this kirtan in various places around Japan. And I was thinking about association because whenever I travel with him, he has certain very good habits that I always pick up when I'm around him for a couple of weeks. He gets up very early in the morning, he practices his exercises, yoga, meditation, things like that. And I just noticed that after a few weeks being around him, then I have the same thing. I didn't think about it. I didn't go to any college, but I just start doing what he did. So this